You're live.
Oh, we're live. Oh, hi, everybody. Sorry, getting used to this sitting at the house stuff. Let's get you the very latest Cowboys news as we do every day on your DLLS Cowboys podcast. We'll make fun of the Eagles a little bit. What can we learn from the teams that are going to the Super Bowl? All those things. Let's get it. Meow. And welcome into the DLLS Cowboys podcast. We're going to see how this thing goes today because I'm going to tell you guys that right now, I know I'm here and I'm talking, and I know Clarence Hill's here and I know Jesse Holly's here, but I'm staring at producer John's forehead. That's all I can see on my screen. And maybe that's because the Patriots are going to the Super Bowl. And so he wants this show to be the him show. But let me know what the viewers can see because I just see John. But welcome in, everybody. My name is Jeff. I'm next to former Cowboy wide receiver Jesse Holly.
Oh, Jesse Holly went 77 yards. It must be a reality show.
What's up, guys?
And he's digitally next to the greatest beat writer in the history of the Cowboys, Mr. Clarence Hill.
Clarence, we're still wondering where Zeke went to college. You never answered the question, buddy. We're still wondering.
That is a fair question. Clarence and Jesse, can you guys see each other and me?
I can hear you, but I only see myself, which I don't mind actually looking at.
Okay, I see me in a little corner, but I see producer John's face in my full screen. It's just John.
Yeah. I switched it up. Looking at the big screen and John on the little screen.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know what you're seeing because I only see John and myself, but I clicked it on my phone and the people watching on YouTube see all three of us.
Okay, that's nice. That's good. Okay,
that's all that matters. That's all that matters. They see all three of us.
Well, this might be the best show we've ever done because it'll be very clear who's talking next. I'll have to tell somebody to talk next because we can't look at each other and tell each other what's going on. Anyway, news of the day in Cowboys Nation for our Cowboys fans. The Philadelphia Eagles came calling. They said, "Hey, we'd like to interview Klayton Adams for our offensive coordinator job." And Jerry Jones said, you can stick that request wherever you like, as long as it's not in a way that makes me say yes. And we told him no, which I think is worth celebrating, that we have an offensive coordinator that people like, Jesse.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's funny, right? Because absolutely no one wants to be the offensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles, right? You see people dropping out left and right, withdrawing their names left and right. But yes, finally, it's been years when we look around and we found someone that wants our coaches as their coaches at this point in time, the period when we haven't fired them. It's one thing when we fired them, but offensively, normally people look at us and we're like, nah, we're good. It's okay. But yeah, and then for it to be the Eagles makes it even more satisfying that they come asking and requesting and you go, not so fast, my friend. You stay over there with your greasy Philadelphia cheesesteak fingers and keep them out of our business over here at the Dallas Cowboys. So I'm thankful that the Cowboys said no, because I do like what Klayton Adams has done for this team, especially in the running game with his blocking scheme. He was able to help make this offense a much more productive offense. Not that it hasn't been productive before, but even a more productive offense with some of the things that he was able to do up front, because we haven't had the best personnel as far as those guys up there, but he was able to make, lemonade out of the lemons that he was given. And I kind of want that continuity to stick around maybe for a year or two more with him, Shoddy, and Dak Prescott as they try to rebuild this thing from the offensive line out. So keeping him here was definitely a very conducive and very, very a productive thing to do for the Cowboys going forward.
Clarence, make words.
You say much ado about nothing. I mean, I know it sounds good and it feels good to deny him, but what do lateral mean? What do lateral mean? They were never going to let him talk to them. It's a lateral move. They can always deny a lateral move. He's offensive coordinator here. You do not have to and will not and will never allow someone to move laterally, go interview for the same job at another place. Yes, they asked, the Cowboys denied them. The Cowboys have historically denied anybody seeking lateral moves. This is not going to happen. It hasn't happened. They will not do it. And he's under contract. Yes, he's a trusted guy. He's a big part of what they want to do. And even though he doesn't call plays, and technically if he went to Philadelphia, he would get to call plays on paper where the NFL sees it, where everybody sees it. It's a lateral move. And so, no, the Cowboys were never going to allow Klayton Adams to interview with the Philadelphia Eagles, unlike the situation where the Eagles passing game coordinator became the Cowboys defense coordinator. That wasn't a lateral move. They could not deny him from interviewing with the Cowboys and ultimately taking the Cowboy job. This is a lateral move. It's much ado about nothing.
Clarence, can I, or Jesse, if I could get your permission to be messy, then I have a question for Clarence. Once I have your permission to be messy.
You messy all you want. Clarence is the Lord Messy.
Clarence is going to get messy later on in the show. I know he is, but I'm going to start this off messy. I just want to ask a question to Clarence because he's been around longer on Earth, and as a journalist covering the Dallas Cowboys, I know that once upon a time, and I'm not going to say any names, but I know that once upon a time, the Cowboys had a guy here that was really good with the offensive line, and he would have liked to have been an offensive coordinator calling plays. But the head coach who called plays here didn't let that happen. And that coach did not like his head coach for this. And so my question is, what do we know about Klayton Adams in terms of his role on this team, and would he like to? Like, does he want to call plays? Is there a chance that if people wanted to interview him, he's going to look at him and be like, come on, guys, I would like this opportunity, or is he happy? Is he happy with us?
I think he's happy with us. And secondly, everybody wants to call them plays. There's no question about that. You want to run your own shop. Or you want to be the man. You want to be number one. You want to be the captain. You know, like when you leave, Jesse wants to be the captain. I'm the captain now. Yes, you want to be able to call your own plays. There's no question about that. But this is the first year. He's going to get other opportunities. But I really think that he should have been looked at as a head coaching chance in Arizona. I think he'll get head coaching opportunities. We can call his own plays, but I don't think it's a situation where he's going to be salty, unlike what you're talking about, the former offensive line coach who's not offensive line coach in Atlanta.
Whoa.
Where it was.
I didn't say any names. I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway, the bottom line is he's certainly not going to be salty about this situation. And I think he likes it here, and from everything we know, he likes it here. But I mean, again, the Cowboys were going to deny him whether he likes it or not. They've done that to many other guys. Lateral moves that they're going to deny. That's what they do. That's going to be no access denied. Access denied.
Yep, we like that. Jesse, was that messy?
Of course, it's messy. I mean,
okay,
it's not as messy as we're gonna get today, but it's a good it's the pre-messy.
Yeah. I'm warming up the mess mobile for Jill a little bit later. And just to crank it up one step further, Jesse, you could try to pronounce this guy's name if you want, but I'm going to tell you a guy named Declan Doyle. That's what I'm going to call him.
Declan.
Declan
Doyle. Is Declan Doyle here today? Is Declan Doyle here today? Where's Declan Doyle?
Declan Doyle is the offensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears. And obviously, if you're the offensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears, you work under Ben Johnson, who is the head coach of the Chicago Bears and a very good play caller, helped turn the Bears around pretty quick and have a really good year. Declan Doyle, I guess, was supposed to or maybe did interview with the Philadelphia Eagles for their offensive coordinator position. He has withdrawn his name from consideration for the Philadelphia Eagles offensive coordinator position. So I just want everybody to know, as a Cowboy fan out there, that no one wants to be the offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles, and I think that's hilarious.
No, that's absolutely hilarious. Like, no one wants that job. And again, because part of the reason, if I am going to be a first-time play caller, then I would, yes, to Clara's point, everyone at some point in time in their life will probably want to be the captain, right? To run their own show. But if I have to be a person that sits back and go, well, I can be the offensive play caller and help build the game plan so that Ben Johnson can call the games on Sunday for Caleb Williams and company, or I can go and be the guy who game plans and calls the plays for a quarterback that I've probably watched a lot already in Jalen Hurts, and then have to deal with Sirianni. I might as well stay in Chicago. Like that just makes a lot more sense, and wait for another opportunity to come available. They're like the jobs from the offensive perspective that are still open outside of maybe the Buffalo job. There aren't many quarterbacks that you really want to hang your hat on. You know, I don't know what you have there in Cleveland. I don't know if it's going to be Deshaun, happy ending Watson. I don't know if it's going to be Shador. I don't know if it's going to be Dylan Gabriel. So that's a mess over there. You know what Philadelphia is. Yes, you have Saquon and company, but you're not – the quarterback there is bad. It's a running back who just so happened to have an arm. And so that doesn't work well when I have the opportunity to stay here and learn more from Ben Johnson and have the ascension of Caleb Williams happen right before my eyes. Nobody. Why would I take that job over the other job?
Yeah, I like what you're saying. Yeah. Also, I do think, Clarence, just give me a quick sec here, because I do think that I need to tell people I didn't at the start of the show, because, again, different setup. I just need to make sure that you guys know that we're presented by our friends at Prize Picks, where if you use the code DLLS, you get $50 in lineups after you play your first dollar lineup, and our friends at ownwell.com/Texas. Don't overpay for property taxes. Ownwell will take care of you, okay? Clarence, were you going somewhere there?
One, this King Messi stuff. That whole diatribe showed you who's the messy one. That happy ending Watson, that wasn't necessary. That wasn't necessary.
That. He didn't say it, and then you said it again.
He said it. He's the one that's messy. You see where his head, you see where his head went? You see where his head went?
Yeah.
He's messy.
Yes.
That's King Messi right there. Messy Jesse. He's known all over the internet as Messy Jesse, King Messi.
Yeah.
The wagon, the Messi wagon is the Messi mobile. Gotta put that on a t-shirt.
Dro knows in the super chat. He said the Sheagles should be reaching out to Ken Niumatalolo, former Navy and current San Jose State head coach, so they can properly run the triple option. I like that.
As we bring it back to the Cowboys just for a second, and since we're talking about the Eagles, the Cowboys are interviewing or did interview Eagles assistant linebackers coach Ronald Williams, who was their nickel coach in 2023. Christian Parker, the Cowboys got him from the Eagles. He's interviewing other coaches for his staff, and Ronald Williams, who's the Eagles had to let him interview with the Cowboys because he was an assistant linebackers coach. He's interviewing for a full position coach here with Dallas. That's one of the people there also they interviewed also. And I don't know how you guys feel about this, because there was so much love for Aaron Whitecott. Remember, so much love for Aaron Whitecott and here and what he did with the defensive line. Christian Parker wants his own defensive line coach. He's interviewing Marcus Dixon, who was the assistant defensive line coach in Minnesota, for the defensive line coach here. And of course, Aaron Whitecott has interviewed in Tennessee for the DC job, and the Cowboys could not deny him from interviewing for that job, because that is a move up.
Also,
it sounded like. Oh, go ahead, Jesse.
Marcus Dixon was a teammate of mine right here for the Dallas Cowboys. You want a guy like Marcus Dixon on your team. Great dude, man. He is going to, he's a guy who will relate to the players. He's a guy who's been in the trenches. He's a guy who understands the game from a schematic point from a player, and now as a coach, he has paid his dues, working his way through HBCUs to college level to the pro level. Marcus Dixon, man, is a good dude. And if Christian Parker decides to bring him on as his defensive line coach, I would be absolutely thrilled. Good dude, man. And I'm not just saying that because of my friendship and former teammateship with him. He's an all-around great dude, man, and will be perfect for this job.
Jamal is in the super chat, and he says, only for my guy C Hill. I don't like how reckless these young YouTubers go at him. Also, Lake Show is alive and will thrive. Fake Show dead. Listen, we don't have time. We don't have time for your internet wars out here. Okay, we're just going to do the very best we can at bringing you what's really going on with the Dallas Cowboys organization. I do have a couple of quick things that I need to make notes on, or I'll forget during the break. But we do. I do have one more thing. Just one more thing about Christian Parker and the defensive staff he's building, and then we'll also talk about our takeaways from the championship games and what the Cowboys can learn from it. You can leave those in the chat. Please hit the like button while you're here. We know everybody's iced in, all right? So we're just going to make our day's routine is just going to be smashing the like button. All that's next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast. Let's take a moment and talk about our friends at Fabletics. Whether you're working out, hanging out, you want to have comfortable gear. That's what you want to have. I'm currently wearing a Fabletics hat and a Fabletics pullover. You're working out, the T-shirts are absolutely incredible. I love the pullover. I got the joggers. Have multiple different kinds of pants from Fabletics, and it's all super comfortable. Thing about it is it's a sort of active wear that feels like that high-end stuff where you would pay hundreds of dollars for something, but you get same premium fit, durability at a fraction of that price. Joggers, hoodies, shorts, T-shirts, jackets, undies, got those too. Everything from Fabletics feels soft, breathable, and flexible, perfect for workouts. Traveling, I'll be traveling in those joggers. Or anytime you just want to feel great throughout the day, you get 80% off everything when you sign up as a Fabletics VIP. 80% off everything. Sign up as a VIP, fabletics.com/DLLS. Take a quick style quiz. Pick DLLS when you're prompted for that 80% off. Fabletics.com/DLLS. Also want to talk about my friends at Wild Fork Foods, Meat and Seafood Market. It is the best place. Stop going to the grocery store for the meats. Take your butt over to Wild Fork Foods, Meat and Seafood Market. They have over 700 items, including 500 at under $10 a pound. They have over 250 different cuts of beef. I've had about 71 of them, I'm guessing. Poultry, seafood, pork, exotic stuff like ostrich, rabbit, alligator, all those different things. They've also got knowledgeable, friendly butchers. They're everyday low prices, and you can get your whole meal there because they've got incredible side dishes, the mac and cheese, the mashed potatoes, the asparagus, green beans. They blast freeze everything, which maintains the freshness. It's true. I had their brisket, the chimichurri outside skirt. They were both incredible. 9 different locations in DFW. Frozen is fresher at Wild Fork Foods, Meat and Seafood Market. The organic grass-fed ground beef, 85% lean at $6 a pound. About the best you're going to see. You got to try them out at one of their different 9 area DFW locations. You can learn more on their website at wildforkfoods.com. All right, it's the DLS Cowboys podcast. You have Vance in the chat said I could go for a good piece of salmon right now. Wild Fork Foods is your place for that. I do enjoy that during the ad reads. I just clicked over to my YouTube page to see what it looks like, and you can see that the brick wall behind me is 100% fake. You can see the plastic just kind of dangling because the camera's not close enough to me, but we're not going to worry about that. Gentlemen, just before we hop into takeaways from the championship games, I do want to just get on record of the Christian Parker. I like the way Christian Parker, new Cowboys defensive coordinator, I like what's happening right now. I like that, and Clarence, you can clarify exactly what has gone on at the Star, but it sounds like he's basically been like, yeah, all of you that are still here, you're welcome to come interview with me for your job. And you're welcome to look elsewhere because I'm going to build the staff that I want. And this isn't necessarily super Cowboys. You know, Cowboys tend to do things a little bit differently, but I like that they are grabbing a guy that they think is a young, bright, up-and-coming coach, and they're saying, build your stuff. The coaching staff is being empowered to build their coaching staff. And I appreciate that. And maybe I should tell Jerry, hey, Jerry, good job, man. Way to just slide that chair away from the table and let other people take care of their jobs, because that's the way it sounds like it's going.
I mean, I agree. I mean, I think that's the best thing about this hire to me. And listen, we don't know what Christian Parker is, what he's going to be. Certainly, they're betting on the come. 34 years old, never called plays, never been a defense coordinator before. But as we said last week, to me, the best part of the hire is the process. And because this is about 30 years for us. It's not just nothing the Cowboys do is in a vacuum. You know, it's not personally about Christian Parker. It's about the process and how they've done things in the past and how they're doing things differently. So how they went about and got Christian Parker, the whole defense coordinator search, seeing 9 guys, not going with an old guard, not going with a retread, going with somebody different, and then allowing him to bring his own people in, to run his defense, and then you're not only trusting this young guy to call plays and run your defense, but you also trust him to hire people and get people, aligned with him, which to me is a huge step for the Cowboys. And as I brought up in the last segment, the fact that, and we talked about Marcus Dixon. Marcus Dixon has a great story going back to high school, going back to college. He has a great story, and if he gets hired, we'll certainly get deep into that. Not only being a great person, as Jesse said, about being a teammate, but he has a great background story and how he got here. But the fact that we're bringing in a guy like Marcus Dixon, who again was assistant defensive line coach, to possibly replace a guy that's highly touted, highly coveted, highly thought of as Aaron White Cotton, that's a huge move if that's the case. And yes, Aaron White Cotton is interviewing in Tennessee, but there's no guarantee he's going to get the job in Tennessee. You just may be moving on from Aaron White Cotton for Marcus Dixon again, which to me speaks volumes of how much they trust Christian Parker in making decisions.
And also, we hit on this before, and I'll reiterate it again. This is the process that it's supposed to go in. Like your head coach is supposed to be the one that he's supposed to be able to pick his lieutenants, right? And then from those guys who are in those OC and DC positions, they're supposed to then go and be trusted to pick the guys that they want to work for them. Like, that is the natural born process of this all. We just had it backwards. Like, the Cowboys have had it backwards for so long. The league has been doing it the right way, but where most of the time your defensive coordinator gets to go and pick his assistants. He gets to go build his commanders underneath him. I think that's the way the order goes. I'm sorry if I messed it up for all my military people. But your OC is supposed to be able to go and pick, his receiver coach and his running back coach and his line coach and his tight end coach. Like, for the most part, like, that's the way it's supposed to be going. We're at a shock and we're cheering and saying, yes, fine, we're late. The Cowboys are late in this process. And I guess, them finally changing, we should celebrate that. But yes, this is the way that things are supposed to go. When that DC comes in, he shouldn't have to deal with what the leftovers. He shouldn't have to deal with what didn't work here before. Now, if he has the opportunity to sit down and talk to and maybe interview himself, Aaron White Cotton, and he goes, you know what? Like this guy's mojo. I like his philosophy. I like the way that he thinks. I think I can learn something from him. I think I can implement the things that he wants into my system and so on and so forth and vice versa, keeping this guy along. But he shouldn't have to take on the DB coach Overstreet and Aaron White Cotton and anybody else that's left over from the Matt Eberflus era, because what you also get, because a lot of those guys were hired by Matt Eberflus. So even if they don't want to say it publicly, in the back of their mind, there's still a little bit of like, well, Eberflus is my guy. Like, that's the guy who brought me on. So I may not fully buy into everything that this guy said because I'm still tethered to the guy who brought me in. This is why a lot of times in companies, when a company comes in and they take over another company, they fire a bunch of people. It's not because they don't want those folks, but it's so much harder to get people to buy into the new program, especially if they've been around this person for a while or been around this company for a while. They don't necessarily want to buy into the new idea, the new way of thinking, the new models, the new approach and the walk that this company is going. So they say, you know what? Let's fire everybody and let's bring in the people that we can trust, that we can mold. And so this is the process that's supposed to happen. The Cowboys have finally kind of caught up and caught on to what the rest of the league is doing. And I truly do hope that it pays the positive dividends in the end. I hope that going and hiring a young coordinator like Christian Parker works out. I pray that whoever he hires works out and this thing gets turned around. Hell, the only way you have to go is up. You can't get any worse. You can't stay the same. But I definitely like that the Cowboys are doing things in a manner that is right. Like, it's what you're supposed to be doing.
Jump in real quick, Jeff. Let me jump in real quick. I'm sorry. One thing that's an issue or has been an issue in the past was these guys are still under contract. All these guys signed pretty much 2-year deals. They weren't like last year's staff, which signed 1-year deals. It was everybody was on a 1 year deal in Mike McCarthy last year, but these guys signed multi-year deals, and so Jerry historically has not wanted to pay coaches not to work, and so a lot of times, you had to take on guys who still had contracts, and you may change coordinator, change the head coach, but you had to keep some of the old staff because they were still in the contract, and Jerry did not want to pay those guys. So the fact that Jerry's willing to also eat the money, if that's the case, and go in a different direction, that's also part of the good news here.
And so now we're moving forward. We just had championship weekend, and I saw the games. Doesn't mean I remember everything that happened in the games. I did.
Where were you? Where were you watching the game? Because most people was at home. The weatherman Delka said, "Stay at home. Stay off the highways." Did you stay at home?
I did not stay at home. I called an Uber and I had it drive me to Greenville Avenue, which is about 4 or 5 miles, and it cost me like $55 because I wanted to call an XL. I wanted to be safe on these streets. And I'll just shout out where we were. I was at the Alamo Club. A guy named Austin owns it, and he's a sweet man. And so they deserved my patronage, and I wanted to be there in public. And so I may not remember all the details of these games, but my question for you, Jesse, unless you want to let Clarence open up with Messi, my question for you is, do you have any takeaways from those two games, the teams that won it, whatever, in terms of that the Cowboys can kind of learn from?
I want Clarence to open up and go full blown, start the Messi mobile and hit the gas.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. He wants me to talk about Tank. He wants me to say Tank was right. Tank called his shot. He wants me to say DeMarcus Lawrence called his shot. He said, "I'm here." And now we going. He went from "I'm here" to "we going." If you listen to his interview last night, "we going." He said, "I'm not winning no. Dallas is my home, but I ain't winning no Super Bowls there. I'm here. I know we ain't winning no Super Bowls there." And Tank was right. Tank Lawrence. And can we, I know you guys are mad about Micah Parsons, and so we cannot mention Micah Parsons, number 11. We can't talk about Green Bay. Are we allowed to root for Tank Lawrence? Are we allowed to root for DeMarcus Lawrence?
Wait, you talk a journalist wants to root?
Yeah, journalists can't root. You can't. We
can. Can we root for the man? Can we root for the man, DeMarcus Lawrence?
Teams.
I pull for DeMarcus Lawrence. Like, I like Tank. Obviously, if the Seahawks play the Cowboys, I want the Cowboys to win. But I'd like to see Tank win a Super Bowl. And I do think it makes it a double layer of mess, because he did say, like, I knew I could never win a Super Bowl in Dallas, which is absolutely a shot at like the front office and whatnot, which I kind of support, that. But also he was taking shots at Micah. Like he told him straight up on Twitter when Micah was like, "This is what greed and whatever looks like." And he was like, "Well, maybe if you spent less time tweeting and more time winning, we wouldn't be in this situation." So I just wanted you to remember, if it makes you feel better as a Cowboy fan, part of it, he was taking shots at another guy who's not here anymore, which just makes it fun.
Yeah, it's congrats to Tank. I'm always a fan of kind of the calling your own shot and then walking it out. And he called his own shot, and the internet went bonkers. I mean, there are receipts all up and down the internet for everyone. When that video came out, when he found that local reporter for the Seahawks, and they had that interview, you go back and you watch that clip, it has like 14 million views, and you just look at all of the comments underneath. I mean, they called that man everything but the child of God. Okay. And kudos to him that he put his head down and went to work. And shout out to Aiden Dirty, who also was here with the Cowboys and is over there coaching the D-line and getting those boys right in Seattle. So there are a couple of Cowboy products that have helped the Seattle Seahawks get to the Super Bowl. But man, it is. We've seen other players leave this organization and go. Even the great DeMarcus Ware, right, who was here, who did everything right. DeMarcus Ware was a model citizen. DeMarcus Ware was a multiple-time Pro Bowler, first-team All-Pro. Of course, now he's in the Hall of Fame, but, did everything right except couldn't win. You could not win. Couldn't get it done here in Dallas. What does he do? There was, disputes about whether or not they should pay a guy who was aging a little bit hurt, and they said, no, we decided we won't pay you. He left, went on to Denver, and what did he do? Won a Super Bowl right away. Got to the promised land. So This is just falls in a long line of players who were here with the Cowboys, who did things right with the Cowboys, who were a stalwart, whether it be offensively or defensively with the Cowboys, and then they go to their next destination and immediately they get there. Their talent is elevated because they're around other talented people and they don't have to put the weight of the world on their shoulders. And then they say, you know what? We'll take your talent, we'll add other talent to it, and then we'll just march our way to the promised land. And so we'll see what the Seahawks will do with that vaunted defense that they have over there. But Tank called his shot. He did the great Hambino, pointed that thing out to the outfield and cracked a home run.
Aaron is in the super chat. He said, my takeaway is that the nickel/down safety is worth a first-round pick. Emin Wari was playing Sam, nickel, and safety. Yeah, something we talked about over the last week or so is that you want to find an impact guy that plays that spot. You want to find an impact guy that has that versatility.
That is his philosophy. So I don't know how it all played out, but that is what he said his philosophy is about that nickel position. For you, Clarence, the slot corner.
Yeah, he needs to be careful. Yeah, he has to be careful when he tries to say that. Yeah, that's why Caleb Downs is probably about to get picked in the top 5 or 6 because I feel like he may be that for somebody, for the Ohio State safety. Coming up next, let's keep doing it. I see other takeaways from other people. I hate the D-Laws. The thing a lot of people are going to remember because I saw it in the chat was like, we were tired. Yes, he gave a stupid answer and he messed up with the media after they lost a playoff game, but that was a dog that gave you everything on every snap. You want 11 tanks and not the way that Jason Garrett wanted 53 Jesse Hollies right before he cut Jesse Holly. Coming up next to the DLLS podcast, we roll along, okay? It's next. Let's take a second to talk about our friends at Branded Bills. Hold on, let me switch that out. Get my Branded Bills hat on. I love my Branded. Oh, what is that? What about? Oh, sorry. Let me put on my other Branded Bills DLLS hat. Branded Bills is awesome. You're looking for hats. You're looking for a snapback, a trucker, fitted, beanie, t-shirt. Branded Bills has you covered. Performance and style. The hats are freaking awesome. If you're looking for some gear to make your brand, you got you a brand, stand apart from the crowd. Branded Bills, they got you covered with the best custom headwear. You start your order and their dedicated team is going to help you create the exact custom apparel you need. They also have a partnership with 40 colleges as a part of their campus collection, including TCU, Texas Tech, Texas, Oklahoma State. Go on brandedbills.com and check out the campus collection. Those hats are absolutely awesome. Whichever team is yours, you're going to be happy to sport that bad boy. Get on over there. The website is brandedbills.com, and we've got a code for you, BBDLLS. That'll get you 15% off that first order at brandedbills.com. Also, want to talk about our friends at Shady Rays. You know we love our Shady Rays. And you also know that moment, the one where you realize, well, my favorite Sunnies, whoopsie, left them at the hotel. Oh, my goodness, they fell off my head at the lake. They're in the bottom of the lake. Oh, they were on top of the car at the gas station. Been there. Then you find Shady Rays, and it changes the game. These sunglasses, they're made for real life. They're real good looking. They're polarized. They're durable. They're not stupidly expensive. And here's the crazy part. If you lose or break them, even on day one, Shady Rays is going to send you a brand new pair. No guilt trip, just replacements. So now you can actually wear your sunglasses without fear wherever you want to take them. Because I know a lot of you have backup sunnies. You got the losable sunnies. No. You rock your Shady Rays everywhere. We've teamed up with our friends at Shady Rays to bring an exclusive offer. Go to shadyrays.com. Use the code DLLS35 for 35% off your polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades that are rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. That's shadyrays.com. Can I give you something else from championship weekend that I find interesting that I think has been proven multiple times before? It is the DLLS Cowboys podcast. We'll get to our magic marker Monday, or championship teams built or bought. Put that in the chat. But I think the thing that jumped out to me is Sam Darnold, like how important the surroundings are for an NFL quarterback. It's absurd how important the surroundings are when you are talking about a guy that had played 6 years of NFL football and the league was like, nope. And then in year 7, crushes it for the Vikings. In year 8, crushes it for the Seahawks. And I don't know. I wonder, like, is the league different? Has it changed enough? Is quarterback harder and more reliant on things around it? Are defensive coordinators better? Or were guys like, the one that jumps to my mind is Peyton Manning, but you could pick whoever. Was he going to make it no matter what? Or did you have to? And you know what? He was definitely at that time because they didn't give him great surroundings, and he went 1-15 or whatever, and then he just took off. It's crazy to me that you can see guys who get picked real high and for 6 years, it's like, I can't play. And then it's like, oh, wait, were we just dead wrong for 6 years and it was that bad? Anyway, that's all. I just want to say that's wild to me. And that's something that I think stands
I'll
out.
say this in response to that, Jeff. It's the days of development is so far behind now, right? Like we used to, a guy used to be drafted in the first round and would sit a couple years, right? And so that you would learn from the veteran, you would learn the system, you would learn how to read defenses. Like all of that happens at a time frame. Now it's accelerated. You draft a guy at 3:00 in the afternoon, he's starting by dinner time. You know what I mean? And sometimes these guys come from colleges who colleges systems are so simple and easy where everything is kind of built into it. And you see some teams now in the NFL kind of moving to that model where the play call itself and the coach itself is eliminating some of the read stuff that they have to go through. But it takes a quarterback some time. I can recognize that. It takes a quarterback a couple years to come into this league and to be able to, because defenses, man, if you don't know how to decipher a defense and what it is pre-snap, what it is post-snap, your telltale signs, what is a robber, what is this, what is a single high that converts to this, what is 6, what is 4, what is 3, what he carries the vertical here, but also he's coming from the backside. There's a bunch of things that these guys have to learn. And then when you're in bad organizations, it doesn't help when you're consistently losing and your coaching is bad. So you're not learning, you're not developing, the talent around you is bad, and your coaching is bad. That's why you see some of these guys who we've seen in recent, history be in one place, and you're like, that guy's a bust. He is terrible. And all of a sudden now he's moved over a couple of places and he's gotten around into a structure of now, oh, this is what life is supposed to look like from this position. Oh, now it's explained to me in a proper way. Oh, wow, you know what? You did give me Jackson Smith and Jigba. Wow, now I know what to do with the football, how to play with the football. My confidence is up. The skills have always been there. That's why they were dropped so high in the first round. It's up here that gets rattled and shaken. And, of course, most famously with Sam Darnold with his times back in the day with the Jets, it was I was seeing ghosts. That's because he didn't know what the hell he was looking at. He didn't know what he was seeing because the people that was coaching him up at that time, it probably was a bad situation.
I think also we're seeing about organizations and the decisions that organizations make. It's the Patriots lose the coach, lose the quarterback, and they're back in the Super Bowl. They also were quick to recognize a mistake with Mayo, okay? And they moved on. They didn't wait. They didn't say, I don't want to look back because I made a mistake. They moved on from a head coach after 1 year. Look at these teams. The two teams in the Super Bowl were not in the playoffs last year. Now they're in the Super Bowl. It don't take 5, 10, 15 years. It don't take a 30-year drought. It don't take forever like Cleveland. If you have a good organization, you bring up the quarterback, Sam Darnold. He was right there in Minnesota. But because they drafted a quarterback, they had to let him go. And J.J. McCarthy was downright awful this year. And he wasn't even close to Sam Darnold. But they can't see the foresight. They want to build for the future when they had a chance to win now with Sam Darnold, who is in the Super Bowl now. You look at the Rams, they didn't make it. But I remember the Rams were all in. Then they ate the cap, and now they're back in the championship game with the same quarterback and same coach. These are about organizations making decisions and making the right decisions for their team, not worrying about how they look and what the media is going to say, what the fans are going to say. It's a reason why the Patriots are back in the Super Bowl. It's a reason why Seattle is back being a contender. They took a chance on a young coach. They built the thing right. It's the reason why these guys are where they are. And one other thing I want to point out, Jerry danced, teased, flirted with Sean in Denver while he had Mike McCarthy. Any chance he should have just ripped the cord on Mike McCarthy and brought Sean in, and they'd be better off?
I mean, if you had a chance at Sean Payton, I think, yeah. I think he's one of those guys.
When he left New Orleans, they had a chance, and it kind of pissed Mike McCarthy off. But he could have rip the cord on Mike McCarthy? Because Sean McPayton has been the apple of his eye ever since the Bill Parcells day. He's been a guy that has been linked to Jerry, had wanted to work with, and he regretted letting him out the door. And if you could have got Sean Payton, now you think they should have ripped the cord on Mike McCarthy?
Yeah, I think when you have the opportunity to have the difference-making coach, like I don't think it's an accident, and we can go through and we will go through like kind of how these teams were built a little bit. But I think if you can get a difference-making head coach, and I didn't dislike Mike McCarthy as a head coach. I think Mike McCarthy's fine as a head coach. I think he'll be fine in Pittsburgh as a head coach. But when you have an opportunity to get a difference maker that's a proven difference maker, I think you gotta snap that up. Like the New England Patriots didn't go from 4-13 to 13-4 by accident. I think Mike Vrabel was the right guy for the job, and he's one of the ones that's tougher because you're talking about trying to identify like the word culture, like how this guy turned it around when you're not talking about a guy who's calling the plays. I love a play calling difference maker, but Mike Vrabel's got the goods, and that helps you turn it around. When you go to Seattle, Mike McDonald was a proven. You want to play good defense? You want me coaching your football team? I'll make that happen, and we'll get the players that we need to. Obviously, they have the players, but yeah, I think when you've got a chance to get a difference maker that stands on the sideline and there ain't no salary cap on that, I think you try to snap that up as best you can. All right, let's pop the graphic up. Jesse Holly is the bringer of our question today for our Magic Marker Monday, which is our championship teams bought or built. And I can't see it, but I do believe there'll be a graphic up that says how much free agency spending was done by some of these teams, which is leading us to the question: built or bought, which one is a championship team done by? Jesse, did you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. And for me on Magic Marker Monday, dollar bills, y'all. It's bought. In today's free agency, with the way things are going, man, you got to go out and buy the talent. You have to go out. Yes, I mean, everyone's drafts every single year. Like, you're going to do that. Like every single year, you're going to get an opportunity to draft. So that's already happening. But you got to go and spend that bread. You have to go and bring in impact players. You have to go out in free agency and maybe 4 or 5 starters to either side of the ball that you may feel are necessary. I mean, you look at, and I know that, Geno Smith wanted, out of Seattle to go to Vegas. For what reason? Have no clue. But they went and they said, you know what? Let's go get a guy who won 13 games last year and got Sam Darnold. Went and got guys like Tank and went and got guys like others and to put around their draft picks. You have to go out and get starters. And with the way that this thing is opened up, if you are a really good evaluator of talent, you have to put some hustle behind that muscle and some dollars to make your team holler. And to me, you got to go and buy it. You got to go and buy it. Kind of go, Les Snead, the company went there a few years ago, F them picks. We see what Philadelphia does with Howie Roseman. We don't care about no damn salary cap. We're going to go spend money to go and replace players. And like Clarence was just saying, when we see a need, we go and address it. If there's something that we have in place there that's not working out for us, we pull the cord on it. We're not going to keep saying, maybe next year, maybe next year, maybe next year, maybe next year. No. Good teams go out and they spend the money. You go and you put pieces around those players. If you don't have, out of this world quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, who can maybe overcome some of those efficiencies, he couldn't do it this year. Had no receivers, couldn't stay healthy, couldn't have an offensive line, and you saw what ended up happening to that particular team. But you got to go and spend that money, honey. That's the only way to me that you're really, truly going to put yourself in a place to go out there and compete for a championship. You spend the money now, you get to celebrate with your fans and with the trophy later on. So for me, it's all cream, baby. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, y'all.
Shout out to a couple of people in the chat who are obviously listeners of the show because, well, they're in the chat, but also because of the messiness. That's how I know that you guys are picking up the vibe. Multiple people tearing down the New England Patriots for having the hero of all time, which Clarence liked to point out before the show too, because he wanted to be messy. So Clarence, if you want to do a victory lap on the New England Patriots and their easy route and make it and mess it up a little bit, go ahead.
The Patriots had the easiest route to the Super Bowl.
Coming up next on the DLLS podcast, we'll continue to answer this question and whatever it is that you guys got going on in the chat. We're with you. It's next.
We can hear Clarence.
Cowboys podcast. I can't see Clarence. It's next on the DLLS podcast.
You can hear me.
All right. Let's talk about. I can hear you now. Let's talk about signing you up to be a diehard. That's what we want you to do. I don't know if you guys noticed, I did a mid-show hat swap, and so I've got my DLLS branded Bills ball cap on right there. That's the branded Bills logo right there. I got that bad boy on. When you decide to be a diehard, you get discounts on merch and events, 20% off in the merch store. So you can go ahead and snag you. I actually ordered 2 of these hats because I know I'm rough on the hats. With the branded Bills, I can actually just throw them right in the wash. But I wanted to have a backup. I got a double hat. When you sign up to be a diehard, it's lovely. You get access to everything on our website, the premium content from beat writers for your favorite DFW sports teams. And so that's rules. You get to have all that ad-free experience on the website, and you get to pick a t-shirt from the merch store that will be yours for free as soon as you sign up. So it's not your content. It's nice that it's ad-free. It's nice to get a free t-shirt. You get the Stay Shiesty shirt. You get the A-Club shirt. I got some sort of DLLS shirt underneath my Fabletics pullover. Got one of them suckers on there. So, yeah, you get all of those things. You also get access to our Discord, where Jesse has been campaigning for months to get a feet channel in there. It hadn't happened yet, but you never know. It could happen soon. We're hanging out talking about TV and movies in one channel, wrestling in another one, college football, whatever your favorite DFW sports team is. We got channels for all of that stuff. So there's much perks to signing up to be a diehard, and you're supporting our show and the rest of the DLLS Sports. Make sure you're following that YouTube channel. If you're watching on my Individual today, get on over to DLLS Sports. Make sure you're following that bad boy as well. And trying game right now, putting in mad work for the station, for the channel, I guess is the word. Radio there for the station. No, for the channel. And he won't lose his job if we have enough people subscribe to the news for that. And that's how you make sure that Ali Jawad keeps his job. So sign up or else, which of course is not a threat. All right. It's the DLS Cowboys podcast. Clarence, you with us? Check. 1, 2. Check.
With you. I want. Can you hear me?
Drunk? John, am I drunk? I can see you in real
one thing that I wanted to point out.
Yep. Got you now. Yep.
Okay. Can you hear me? Can you answer that question? Since you act like you couldn't hear me. John can hear me, but you can't hear me. But the bottom line is,
I could not.
Everyone's internets are on different wavelengths right now, so let's do this.
Sweet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
just make some words, Clarence. You got it.
The main thing that I want to point out is as far as built or bought. In addition to the fact that the Patriots had the easiest route in NFL history to the Super Bowl, going through C.J. Stroud, who was awful, and a backup quarterback. But we're gonna put that aside. They made it. But I think it's both. I mean, you can't this whole built bought thing.
Not allowed.
Seattle has a not allowed. I'm going to say built because you look at the first round picks, you look at that secondary, those draft picks, you look at that defensive line and those draft picks. And they supplemented the draft picks with free agents, with Ernest Jones, defensive end, DeMarcus Lawrence, those guys like that, Leonard Williams. You know, they supplemented what they did in the draft with what they do in free agency. And that's the thing that, as we always bring about the Cowboys, the thing that frustrates me about the Cowboys is we want to be a draft-led team. It always frustrated me that you will be focused on the draft, you punting free agency. You have to use all avenues for success. You can't be just draft. Certainly you can't be just free agency, but you have to supplement what you do in the draft with spending money in free agency. You're the richest franchise in sports. It boggles my mind that for years they punted doing free agency, or they only shopped at the bargain basement bin, thinking they can build a team through the draft. You can't do that. You have to use both avenues for success, because you're not going to hit it out of the park all the time in the draft. You're not going to hit on all those draft picks. And certainly you're going to make some mistakes in free agency. You have to do both. But the foundation is the draft. And then you supplement what you can't do or what you've done in the draft with free agency.
Yeah, I'm with. I'll put my fingers on the table like this for Jesse. I like everything you said, Jesse. I thought you did a great job. It was well put. Made some fantastic points. Everybody knows it's obviously both, but the point of the exercise is you have to choose. It's built, then it's bought. I think those examples are great ones. When you've got, if you're Seattle, I mean, hell, they bought the quarterback, but you can't get yourself over the top if you weren't already built with Julian Love and Devin Witherspoon and Emin Wari in that secondary and Jackson Smith and Jigba and Kenneth Walker in the backfield. Like Seattle did a wonderful job of realizing we have built enough that we can buy this thing. And so then they went and they bought Cooper Kupp and Rashid Shaheed and Tank Lawrence and some of the pieces, Milton Williams to fill in the blanks. And so I think let's see, New England, same thing, like Christian Gonzalez out there at corner and Drake May is a top 5 overall pick. And they did have a really easy path because when you look at their roster, I think man for man, they probably don't stack up. And I think Seattle's going to beat them. But, you thought, look, we got our young quarterback on our rookie deal. Let's go buy some stuff. Let's change his world with Stephon Diggs. Let's patch together our secondary and go sign Carlton Davis. Let's go get Milton Williams. And so, yeah, I think you build it and then you buy it, which makes it a challenge for the Cowboys specifically because the built part is a little bit of a struggle right now. They've built some of the most important pieces. Finding Dak as a supplementary 4th-round pick is insane value. Having CeeDee Lamb fall in your lap is insane. Great pick with Tyler Smith. Like, you have building blocks, but when I say built, most of these teams, you can look at their last 3-4 years, the guys that are still cheap on their roster, that gives them the opportunity to feel like we can be as aggressive as we want in free agency because holy cow, the value we're getting on that guy that are going to be $30 million players. And so I say to Jesse, I thought you had great points. Every point that you made was incredible. But I do hit you with this hand and say that I believe it is built and then bought. With this hand. My internet's got to be lagging because I was expecting Jesse to start. Okay.
No, I hear you. I was giving you what I thought about what you thought about. I was giving you my hand.
You hit me with a counter, a caveat.
I hit you with a counter on my hand and what I thought about the whole. Okay. No, you're right. But it's always unfair that you get to go last, so you get to pick both. But yes, it is it's probably like the right answer is a combination of both. Right, the combination of both is that you want to, and the Cowboys have done some good things when you look at Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. When you look at pieces like DeMarvion Overshown, all right, and Osa Odigizua, so they've done some good things with drafting those guys. But now you have to support those guys. This is what Clarence has always talked about when it came to Micah. It was like, yes, you got a dog in Micah. Now go get more dogs to run with him, right? Go get a whole pack of dogs. And that's the biggest thing is that, we want to say, well, we got that guy. Okay, great. Yes, you got that guy. Fantastic. Go get more. Go now you drafted some of those guys, go open your pocketbooks and spend some more money of going to get more dogs to run with the dogs that you have. I think that's the biggest thing that the Cowboys miss out on is they'll have some good pieces and then they'll look up and they'll go, we'll go to the bargain bin. We'll spend Dollar Tree type money instead of going to the Container Store to get more things to support what you already have at the crib.
Yeah, and I do think the answer of bought feels more relevant here because it's the part they haven't done, right? Like now the built part has been struggle bust the last few years where you would love to have your first, second, and then some scattered other picks that are quality starters, and they really struggled to do that. But yeah, the bought part is the part that the Cowboys are missing. So it feels more like that's what you need to do here than most places because they haven't done a good job of buying, and they're going to need to. Like if you look at the number of the holes that were filled on both of the teams that are going to the Super Bowl roster, and sidebar, build domes. Like, it wasn't my team, so I don't care. I didn't have a rooting interest in Broncos versus Patriots. We have no idea what team is better. We have no idea. They were playing ring around the smash into the blizzard front and see who doesn't drop the ball and see who's able to hold on to the ball, and nobody can get off a block and people are just falling down. That is not how I want to determine the champion of the league. And I realize that in the chat, a lot of you are going to call me a P. It's not about that. I just want the best team to win. And we have no idea if the best team won because they were just hanging out in a blizzard and they couldn't kick the ball. And the guy who won the game threw for like 70 yards. Like, that is not either team at their best. But shout out to the Patriots for stumble drunking their way to making one more field goal in a blizzard. And so you get to go to the Super Bowl. Clarence, I see the look you're giving me, and I don't care. I just want you to know that's how I feel. Build a dome, all of you. Otherwise, I don't respect the outcomes of your games.
About Sean Payton not going for the field goal early in the first half. I mean, and
when
certainly
they missed them. Who cares?
No, they missed the one late, but there was a chip shot field goal early that would have tried to get, they'd had a 10-0 lead, and he passed on the field goal, then didn't get it. And that decision haunted them the rest of the way. Yeah, they missed some late. They missed a longer field goal, then a chip shot field goal like around inside the red zone that they passed on early to go for the touchdown, and they didn't get it.
That was the very rare. If you're new here, I'm very pro go for it. I believe that there is the reason that it says recommendation, go for it, is because over the long haul, if you do that consistently and you do what you should do in a football game, you're going to score more points, and scoring more points is the point of playing offense. But in Blizzard game, because they don't have a dome, boy, a 2-score lead would have felt big if Denver had kicked. I was actually surprised that he went for it. I think being up 10 in a game where no one can do anything, boy, you would have been in a good spot. So maybe I don't want Sean Payton. Turns out he's an idiot. I forgot where I was going. MD Rose in the super chat. I distract myself all the time. I don't know if you guys have figured that out yet. MD Rose said, sup, fellas. Like that Christian Parker's doing what he wants and Jera is out the way. Maybe the coaching does matter after all, after 30 years, huh? Coaching matters, and the Cowboys have always settled at coach, and that's one of the things that kind of drives me bonkers when Clarence talks about how they're see, I did it to myself again. I forgot where I was going. But like when you're the richest organization in sports, some of the places where you choose not to spend is hilarious. Like, hello, we're the biggest, most valuable franchise in sports. There is no salary cap on coaching, but we're going to do it on a budget, and we're going to get our homies. And so, yeah, I agree. I like the Christian Parker hire because it doesn't – not that he's going to be like some huge, highly compensated defensive coordinator. It's not like you money whipped one of the best in the league. But I do think the other route to it is as long as it's not somebody's friend and it's somebody that people in the league are like, oh, yeah, that dude, he's going to be the one. And being in the mix for that, I like being in the mix for that. Daniel's in the super chat. He said, I'm rooting for the Seahawks so Kraft doesn't win another chip and Jerry can eventually catch him so he can retire already. John, what are you doing? John, what are you doing?
John's going rogue. He's going rogue.
Yeah, and that's okay. Congratulations to John's team. As they're like, Patriots don't deserve this. You won too many. No, you won too many, and you need to chill out a little bit, and you need to let other people have a little bit of fun, okay? It's not right that you got to win all of them, and then you didn't win for like 7 seconds, and then it's like, all right, well, we're back now. And I think that that's disgusting, and I don't think the city of Boston deserves it, if we're being honest. I think the city of Dallas deserves it more than the city of Boston, but unfortunately, their owner tries harder to win at sports. Why you got me taking shots at Jerry? Because I'm just trying to fill 60 seconds before the end of the show, and my crutch is to just take a shot at Jerry. That's what just happened there because I'm messy. We don't have any more super chats, do we? We're all squared away. Hey, Aaron, we saw that one. My takeaway is that the nickel/down safety is worth a first. Wari was playing Sam Nickel. Yeah. What the Super Bowl proves from Vance, sound organizations see their problems and fix them. See New England getting Vrabel and Seattle getting McDonald and then Kubiak. Yes, I agree with that as well. And hopefully the Cowboys are at least on their way to having a coaching staff that you're like, hey, look at that. We got something going there. So Shoddy, be a beast. Christian Parker, build a kick-butt staff. And then Jerry, do your job and see if we can't give this thing a chance. Thank you to Clarence and Jesse. Everybody stay warm out there. Stay safe out there. Have a hot dog today or a bun, whatever it is that you want. And remember that you have no idea what anyone's going through. So be cool to everybody. We love you. Be easy.
Eliminate the contingencies.